Pokemon Schmokemon. I've grown to love the franchise in the past few years of my adult life, learning a lot about the card game, the animated series, and the lore. You may be asking yourself, wait, didn't you grow up with Pikachu and that shit? It's a household staple. But sadly, no, I wasn't allowed to indulge for reasons I'll explain later in this iceberg. Though this ain't about me and my sob story. So let's just get into this deep ass iceberg and see what type of dark and creepy stuff we'll find. Consider subscribing if you're new. I make long form content that you can listen to in the background while you try to fall asleep or play Clash of Clans. Yep, I still play Clash. If you like my vibe, subscribe is my motto. Either way, thank you and let's get into it, brother. The Lavender Town Syndrome. According to a creepypasta story that was uploaded anonymously on pastebin.com in 2010, the music of Lavender Town compelled the suicide of about 200 Japanese children in the spring of 1996. Others alleged suffering nosebleeds, headaches, and became irrationally angry or emotional. The high-pitched beat supposedly harmed the brains of the children in a way adults were immune to. According to the creepypasta, Kyoto Prefecture's disclosure laws exempt Nintendo from any charges, who subsequently covered up the suicide to protect the Pokemon franchise's innocence and popularity, and ultimately the music was changed for the English language release of Pokemon Red/Blue. This fabricated illness was later dubbed Lavender Town Syndrome, and the original story went viral after being spread on general interest websites such as 4chan. Various people who added details made the story more convincing over time though. Scrubbing Bubbles Pokemon. In the manga Pokemonsters, basically the early Pokemon, the first Pokemon caught by Red is a Scrubbing Bubbles looking Pokemon. Of course it's not him, but the resemblance is uncanny. Or it could be him, who knows. This is my favorite Pokemon now. Sexy bastard. Missing girl in the intro. In the original Pokemon series intro, there's a mysterious girl that appears, but is never shown in the series as a character. Fans started to hypothesize that she was going to be in the show sooner or later, or that she was simply taken out. Others thought that she was an early version of the character Green, until most started to realize the truth was in the original Japanese lyrics, as it was a joke that Pokemon could be found mostly anywhere, including underneath a girl's skirt. Nice, Japan. Nice. Tweaking/void. Tweaking is a glitch exclusive to the core series Generation 4 games that causes the game to improperly load the graphics of an area, leaving a black void. Depending on the layout of a section, it may be possible to tweak in such a way so as to load a walkable area, either black or visible, onto a section that does not normally contain walkable surfaces. This allowed for a number of shortcuts, like catching rare Pokemons early on in the game. If you walk far enough, you could also go into the game's back rooms of infinite lands, leading to nowhere. Pokegods. Pokegods is a term used to refer to a certain group of fake Pokemon whose Pokédex numbers were greater than 150 and were supposedly obtainable in the Generation 1 games. The term was in popular use among fans in the late 1990s and into the new millennium, as the gold and silver versions were in development. The concept was very much discussed and disputed over in various forum websites all the time, and many edits and screenshots were passed off as real, trying to prove the case of Pokegods. Most Pokegods were said to be near invincible, while a few were only considered hidden bonus Pokemon. Codes and cheats to supposedly attain these Pokemon were widely distributed. The cheats usually involved doing odd tasks that could take hours at a time. Backward names. This is in reference to Pokemon that have backward names that, if you read backwards, reveal the animal that it's based off of, like Arbok is Cobra, Ikens is Snake, and Muck spelled backwards is oh, never mind. Racist Gengar. The infamous Racist Gengar events took place in 2009 at Nintendo World. Tons of flyers were getting around rather quickly, and people were promised a mystery gift, although the distribution was definitely not what it seemed. The mystery gift contained a Gengar with the racial slur as a name, and many of its features were references to racial stereotypes. This event was supposedly having players receive a mystery gift, but when it all happened, people weren't too happy. As mentioned, the distributed Pokemon had African American stereotypical features that were offensive, aka Gengar was named the N-word and had racial stereotypes attributed to its attacks. After Nintendo World received word of a racist Gengar going around, this prompted them to investigate, and many eyewitnesses gave a description of a person who was dressed as a Team Rocket grunt character, as the one who was distributing the racist Gengar. GS-Ball. The GS-Ball is a mysterious Pokeball introduced in Crystal. Once this Pokeball is taken to the shrine in the Lex Forest in the Johto region, Celebi will appear in front of the player and challenge them. According to Matsumitsu, the GS-Ball stood for Gold/Silver Ball and was supposed to contain Celebi. It was intended to follow Ash Ketchum around the Gold/Silver series. However, it was decided at the last minute to save Celebi for the movie Pokemon Forever, and the GS-Ball was dropped from the anime with no explanation at all. Scumbag Mindy. Mindy is an extremely hated NPC, even receiving her own subreddit dedicated to only hating on her. The main reason is due to her scheming action when trading Machamp for a Haunter. She seems nice at first, but after the trade, right when you think you're getting a Haunter that would evolve into a Gengar, she reveals that the Haunter cannot evolve because it's holding an Everstone, and mocks you for it. Yup, she rightfully deserves the hate and title of Scumbag Mindy. Banned episodes. Some episodes of Pokemon have been removed from rotation, or as commonly referred to, banned from the original lineup of episodes. The episodes that never aired were withdrawn due to natural disasters occurring in the real world that have similarities with the content within the episode. Some episodes were withdrawn completely from syndication due to stereotypes that may have offended a certain ethnicity, religion, or culture. Alternatively, some episodes were banned due to inappropriate content as well, so prevalent that 4Kids most likely believe that no amount of selective editing could ever make these acceptable for distribution on TV or home video. One example of this is the Tentacool and Tentacruel episode that was temporarily withdrawn by Kids WB, specifically and temporarily in the United States due to the 9/11 attacks, and because the episode features destruction of buildings. However, it is still part of the 52 episode season 1 package for licensees to purchase. Pokemon is satanic theory. Some fundamentalist Christian groups in the United States and other countries have accused Pokemon as being linked to Satanism. Many Pokemon inherently involve East Asian spiritualism or mysticism due to the franchise originating from Japan. Some Christian groups denounce these as pagan rituals, claiming that if you were to play backwards the Cantu Poke rap, Gotta Catch 'Em All, you can hear the lyrics stating, "I love you, Satan." Jinx racism allegations. Jinx first appeared in the video games Pokemon Red and Blue and its subsequent sequels. Jinx's design and humanoid appearance was first criticized by the Western media, including cultural critic Carol Boston, who described Jinx as representing blackface after seeing the character's depiction in the anime. Due to complaints from the public, Game Freak modified its appearance by changing the original color of its face from black to the current color purple. Pokemon Go Holocaust Museum. This is in reference to the incident in which the poison gas Pokemon was found inside of a Holocaust museum. You can guess why this was heavily inappropriate. Anyways, the museum representatives weren't really upset about the specific incident, but more about the fact that people were showing up simply to play the game and weren't considerate of the place they were in. They were just there to catch Pokemon, basically. Before we move on to the shallow waters, this video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. Do you want to sleep more comfortably and overall better? I know I'm a light sleeper, so I prefer it to be pitch black inside of my room. But the Manta Sleep mask has made it better for me to get that sensation. Manta Sleep makes the world's best sleeping masks and other functional sleep accessories. But there's more to Manta than that. They work to improve and optimize sleep, so you have the energy to create your best life. I was sent the Manta Sleep Mask, though they do have different types of varieties. Depending on your preference, you could get something like a weighted sleep mask to a silk sleep mask. It blocks out all of the light and it's very adjustable to your head. It's surprisingly really comfy and I overall enjoy the feel on my face. I didn't really think I would enjoy a sleeping mask until I tried this one, to be honest. So go check them out in the link in the description and use the code BUCK for 10% off your first purchase. Here's also a QR code that you can use to access the site. Once again, use code BUCK for 10% off your purchase, and thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Machoke theory. This theory states that the stripes on Machoke's arms are actually scars/rips on its skin, so upon evolution, its muscles swell up enough to tear its own skin open, leaving the red scars on its arms. Mew Under the Truck. The Mew Under the Truck legend is an urban legend revolving around the 1996 game Pokemon Red and Blue. Near the SS Ant ship, there is a secret ledge that is home to a single pickup truck of unknown origin. The only way to access this ledge is to have a Pokemon use the move Surf, which allows you to cross the bodies of water and surf around the ship. Nintendo has yet to explain the purpose of this truck, and players began spreading rumors that either a rare item or the rare Pokemon known as Mew could be found underneath the truck. Capsule Monsters. Capsule Monsters was the planned name for Pocket Monsters, aka Pokemon, but it was changed to Pocket Monsters because of problems during the trademarking process. If the name had been Capsule Monsters and not Pocket Monsters, people would have said Capumon instead of Pokemon. We can see the early designs of Pokemon like Gengar during this era of Pokemon. Burger King Pokeball Recall. During 1999 and the 2000s, Burger King and the Consumer Product Safety Commission held an effort to recall plastic containers resembling Pokeballs in the United States. After it was determined they presented a suffocation hazard, Burger King released a set of 57 Pokemon toys and a $22 million Pokemon the First Movie promotion, which were contained within round Pokeball containers measuring 2.75 and 3 inches in diameter. Burger King distributed the Pokeballs inside big kids meal toys and regular kids meal toys, and it was set to last for 8 weeks from early November through December 1999. On December 11th, 1999, a 13-month-old girl in Sonora, California suffocated on a container and was found deceased in her playpen with half the ball covering her nose and mouth. Following her death, the Tuolumne County Sheriff's Department issued a warning about the containers. This was the first time a Burger King toy was blamed for a death. Burger King spokesman Ken Miller stated if it turned out that the container was a choking hazard, they would pull them out immediately. However, they did not want to end a promotion if there was no issue with it. Though when word began to leak out to the press, they released an early press release on December 27th announcing the recall. A $1 million recall campaign was initiated by Burger King, which included television advertisements and warnings on takeout bags and tray liners from their restaurants. More than 100,000 notices and flyers were sent to healthcare providers and sites frequented by Pokemon fans. Despite this, a 4-month-old in Indianapolis, Indiana, died of suffocation on January 25th, 2000, in his crib due to the Pokeball toy. Mirage Island. Mirage Island is a hard-to-reach location in Hoenn. It is found on Route 130 in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. However, it can only be visited under highly rare circumstances. It is visited mainly for the one Lychee Berry that it hosts. Every day, 2 randomized bites are generated by the game. If these bites match the first 2 bites of the personality value of any Pokemon in the player's party, Mirage Island will appear for that day as long as the matching Pokemon remains within the party. The odds of a single Pokemon activating the Mirage Island is 1 in 65,536. This chance is increased to approximately 1 in 10,923 if the player has a full party. Censored sprites. Due to differences in culture, some sprites were altered to be more family friendly or relatable, like Jinx being purple instead of black, and this female swimmer not winking in the international version. Also this one being less provocative, I guess. Damn, those legs though. Emakuni. Tomaki Emakuni is an eccentric Japanese musician who performed some of the music for the Pokemon anime. He was also heavily involved in promoting the trading cards and ended up being on several cards. Emakuni played a small role in the designing of Pokemon Ranger and its sequel, Shadows of Almia. Missing No. Missing No is a name shared by several glitch Pokemon in Pokemon Red, Blue, and also Yellow. Unlike most glitch Pokemon whose names consist of data cobbled together from random locations, Missing No's name is clearly deliberately added abbreviation of Missing Number. This is because Missing No was added as a name for the empty slots in order to avoid the game crashing if a glitch Pokemon was encountered. Drunk Old Man. When the player first visits Viridian City, an old man lying on the path blocks the player's way. In the original Japanese version, he's passed out drunk, though in the American and European languages, he's grumpy due to not having his coffee for the day. Once the player has delivered Oak's parcel to Professor Oak, the old man will no longer be in the way, due to him having his coffee, or in the Japanese version, he simply sobers up. He ends up helping the player by teaching them how to catch a Pokemon using a Pokeball. In Pokemon Red and Blue, the player can skip his tutorial by simply not talking with him. However, in Pokemon Yellow, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, the tutorial is unskippable. fake Pokemon game names. This is in reference to made up names made for the Pokemon franchise or titles to ROM hacks. You got some creative titles like Pokemon Brown. Hell yeah, Brown Power, brother. We also got Pokemon Z, Pokemon Outlaw, Pokemon Jade version, and my favorite, Pokemon My Ash Gray, Pokemon Ash Gray. PETA. PETA took on the Pokemon series with Pokemon Black and Blue, a parody of Pokemon Black and White that focuses on animal fighting and experimentation. In role-playing battle styles, the player controls a Pikachu who escapes Ash Ketchum's abusive circus. Pikachu first fights a drunk Chirin, who brutally abuses his T-Pig in a dogfighting-esque manner, and then moves on to the trainers and characters in order to rescue their Pokemon from their ownership. The game suggests that Nintendo's continual release of Pokemon games reduces humans' empathy towards animals. Also, in another game created by PETA, Pikachu battles McDonald's characters like the Hamburglar in a crusade against the rare but ongoing practice of meat production. 4 kids are the devil. In 2007, a video was posted onto YouTube where the scene in which James is heard mumbling while at the grip of a Pokemon's mouth is played backwards. Played normally, his dialogue appears to be gibberish. However, when the scene is played backwards, James is clearly heard saying, "Leo Burnett and 4 kids are the devil." Some fans have speculated that Eric Stewart, then the voice for Brock and James, may have left a hidden message to poke fun at Burnett's idea of animation commercialism, at the same time mocking 4 Kids Entertainment for upsetting the fans that were unsatisfied with the international edits. In 2011 in Matricon, a fan asked Stewart about this quote, which he confirmed was indeed intentional, and claimed that it was because he was no longer being paid for his short commercials while working for 4 Kids Entertainment. Others believe that it was put in there for a much darker reason though, claiming that it showed the occult hidden agenda that was targeting kids at the time. Either way, in the version streaming on Pokemon TV and on the 2015 DVD sets, the backmasked audio is replaced with James screaming instead. Aerodactylus name. Aerodactylus, meaning windfinger, is a pterosaur genus containing a single species. The skulls of Aerodactyluses were long and narrow, with about 64 teeth, which were more crowded towards the jaw tips. It was named after the pterosaur-like Pokemon Aerodactyl in 2013 due to their similarities, as it was based on the real-life animal. Now let's move on to the depths. Alleged Nazi imagery. Members of the Jewish community accused Nintendo of using an offensive image in the Japanese version of Kojoga's ninja trick. The image in question features an emote, manji, a left-facing version of the swastika. The Western world generally associates the swastika, or the Hakenkreuz, I don't know how to pronounce that, with the fascist and racist policies of Nazi Germany during the course of World War II, as well as hate, prejudice, and white supremacy in general. However, the swastika has its roots as a symbol of peace and good luck by many ancient cultures. The earliest form of a swastika discovered was one used in ancient India. It was also found in cultures that had no connections with India, such as Native American and First Nation cultures. Also, in the episode All Things Bright and Beautifly, Team Rocket raises their right hand in a manner somewhat similar to the Hitler salute. It was edited out in English dubs of the anime, with the grunts no longer raising their hands. The Porygon Incident. On December 16th, 1997 in Japan, what can now be said as perhaps the most infamous anime episode of all time aired. The Season 1 Pokemon episode, Dino Senshi Porygon, but more commonly known as the Electric Soldier Porygon, involved Ash and the gang going digitally inside an out-of-order Pokeball transmitting device to determine the cause of its malfunction. A little more than halfway through the episode, there are several scenes in which vaccine missiles are set upon the group by Team Rocket, resulting in several explosions, depicted by quick, bright, alternating flashes of red and blue in the background and some foreground. This flashing caused an estimated 685 Japanese children to be hospitalized after suffering epileptic seizures. 2 of them remained hospitalized for upwards of 2 weeks. This event caused a huge amount of controversy and received worldwide media coverage, sending Pokemon into a 4-month hiatus, as well as Porygon taking a hiatus in future seasons. The episode was immediately banned from re-airing worldwide by the Japanese government. It should be noted, however, that Pikachu was the one who destroyed the missiles and set off the explosion, but as Pikachu is the franchise mascot, Nintendo decided to use Porygon as a scapegoat. Ash's coma theory. This is a very popular theory about the famous anime series Pokemon. It states that the main character, Ash Ketchum, is actually in a coma, and all of the episodes of Pokemon after the first episode are Ultra's dreams while he's in a coma. So basically in episode 1, Ash steals Misty's bike to take Pikachu to the Pokemon Center. As soon as he falls off the bike and goes onto the ground, he sits there for a few seconds, then gets back up. Many people believe that after Ash wakes up, that's when the coma dream starts. When he falls, he gets a concussion, then his coma begins. And people believe that's why Ash doesn't age, as it's confirmed that Ash doesn't age within the anime itself. This is all validated in the start of season 14, Black and White, when the narrator states that Ash is still 10 years old, and that was the coma theory. I personally think that this theory is quite interesting to say the least, as it does resemble a bunch of cartoon creepypasta coma theories, considering also that the series is for preteens, and Ash only stays 10 to relate to those kids. But I don't know, what do you think about this? Giovanni theory. In Heart and Gold and Soul Silver, after you defeat Giovanni when going back in time, he exits the cave and ends his own life, according to some people, coming to this conclusion because of the sudden flashbang and loud noise heard afterwards. He is also unable to communicate. Bulba Garden forum pedos. Supposedly there was a scandal about pedophiles infiltrating the Bulba Garden community. Allegedly, some mods were caught soliciting inappropriate pics from teens visiting the site. One of the members was also accused of posting some pretty extreme takes about relationship with minors being okay onto 4chan as well. But you know, that might as well just be all of 4chan. Super Smash Bros. Cat. In the Pokemon Stadium 2, there's an Easter egg depicting a cat found in a small ice house. Even during the updates, you can still find the cat chilling there. Gengar is a Clefable. Gengar is known as the Shadow Pokemon, but what exactly is it a shadow of? Take a look at a picture of Clefable and then one of Gengar. Their body shapes are almost exactly alike, with the only major differences being the Clefable having a curl on its hair and a tail, while Gengar has spikes. However, the shadow of an upright spiral like Clefable's tail would only be a line or a spike. Now look at their typings, one of a normal type and the other has ghost type. Due to their immunities, neither of them could hit the other with stab attacks, since they'd just be immune to each other. Have you ever tried to hit your shadow? Yeah, it's impossible. Ditto is a failed Mew clone Pokemon. In the Pokemon series, Mew is the ancestor to every known Pokemon, containing information on every other Pokemon in its cell structure, so it has the ability to use all of the technical and hidden machines. A group of scientists dreamed of creating the world's greatest Pokemon. Their plan was to create the clone, Mew, and amplify the creation's powers, resulting in one of the first artificial Pokemon, Mewtwo. This theory states that more than just Mewtwo was created, Ditto being one of the results of a failed attempt to create Mewtwo from the scientists. Most media on Pokemon will occasionally use the word quote-unquote fetus, an interesting choice of words, to describe Mew, as well as portray Mew as a fetus/embryo. Mew even surrounds itself in a pink bubble, which strongly resembles a placenta. The whole idea was to get across the idea that Mew was the birth of all Pokemon. It is unknown if there are more than just one Mew, but we do know that it was Mew who populated the world with its spawn, of all shapes and sizes. Additionally, we also know that Mew is capable of asexual reproduction, a trait that only one other Pokemon seems to have, Ditto. There are many connections between Mew and Ditto, which show that they have very similar genetic makeup as well. Mew and Ditto share almost identical colors for their normal and shiny variants, which is pink and blue respectively. They also share the same weight, but I don't know, this is just a theory. Pokemon's effect on the brain. Scientists have found that people who played Pokemon as children may have had their brains altered for the rest of their life, as opposed to other children who did not grow up alongside the franchise. According to a new study published in the journal Nature Human Behavior, Pokemon players have a specific area in their brain, in the visual cortex, devoted to only processing Pokemon images. Bill's Garden Urban Legend. Outside the house of the character Bill the Scientist, a narrow grassy path can be seen stretching north of the house. Unfortunately for curious players, there's no legitimate way to follow this path and see where it leads. The hypothetical area to which the path led became known as Bill's Secret Garden, and rumors spread that extremely rare Pokemon could be found there. You could do this by hacking the game. It is possible to follow the path, but it only leads to a patch of land with the width of a house and one character high. No Pokemon whatsoever could be found there though. Registeel. In European releases of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the sprite art for Registeel is altered slightly. In the original Japanese, Korean, and English releases, Registeel's arm is extended. In non-English European versions, an altered sprite is used, depicting it with both of its arms down, presumably due to the original pose's resemblance to the Roman salute infamously used by the Nazis. Tentacool lore. Tentacool is one of the most well-known Fakemon in the Pokemon fandom. Tentacool's origin comes from a thread on VP/ on July 22nd, 2010, where users were asked to draw their favorite Pokemon without looking them up, simply by using their memory. An anonymous poster posted a picture of a large blue creature with yellow features and claimed it to be a Tentacool. Within hours, more threads and fan art were created of the Fakemon, even going as far as to create a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald featuring it. Tentacool then regained popularity before the 5th generation of games were released. People across the internet regarded it as a brand new Pokemon. Eventually, a few well-known Pokemon websites were putting the leaked images on their sites until it was discovered to be a Fakemon. According to the hack, Tentacool's main and arguably most famous attack is Puke Blood. Some also claimed that the Pokemon had actually existed as well, blaming some sort of Mandela effect phenomenon going on. Ultraman-inspired Pokemon. Ultraman was a popular Japanese series, and it's said that Pokemon drew inspiration from it, like the idea of capturing monsters in a small container that was supposed to be in the show. But what do you guys think? Let's move on to the Abyss. POKERUS. POKERUS is a virus in the Pokemon series that any Pokemon can catch if it has not already been infected once before. Its name is a mix of Pokemon and virus. POKERUS is caught when a Pokemon battles a wild Pokemon, though the effects of this virus are very beneficial to the Pokemon that receives it. Catching the virus, however, is a very rare event, as the odds of meeting a wild Pokemon with it is between 21,178 and 21,845, or roughly 0.004651%. Similar to the Macho Brace, POKERUS will double the effort value stats of a Pokemon. Lost Silver Creepypasta. Pokemon Lost Silver is a creepypasta story about a disturbing haunted Game Boy Color cartridge for the game Pokemon Silver. It has inspired fan-made artwork and a game built on a custom engine. The earliest known posting of the pasta comes from a 4chan thread submitted on June 6, 2010. The original story of Lost Silver was recorded and narrated by a Pokemon fan who claims he bought a used copy of the game at GameStop for a bargain price. But once he loaded the game onto his Game Boy, he immediately noticed that the save game left behind by the cart's previous owner was highly unusual. Whoever had owned the game simply named their trainer ... had maxed out their Pokédex with all 251 entries, including the legendary Pokemon Celebi and Mew, and had also maxed out their money and levels. But most unsettling of all was the active party that the game's previous owner had left. It contained 5 unknown alien Pokemon with letter-shaped bodies that can spell out messages, and a Cyndaquil. According to the teller of the tale, the unknown spelled out leave, and the Cyndaquil was named Hurry. The narrator talks about finding himself trapped in a silent, still version of Pokemon Gold/Silver's Bellsprout Tower, and how he flashed to illuminate a dark area, only to have the room bathed in a menacing red glow. Other events included in the story is the utter death of the Cyndaquil as opposed to the usual faint, the unknown spelling out the messages like dying and no more, and a ghostly battle with the trainer from the Pokemon Red/Blue. At the story's conclusion, the trainer named ... becomes a ghost and is trapped forever amongst several Pokemon graves. The moral, if you can even call it that, spells out that despite his enormous success as a Pokemon trainer in life, death still came for ... in the end. Same as it comes for all of us. Worse for ... though, seemingly because he died nameless, alone, and forgotten. Pokemon Cancer Gene. ZBTB7, originally named Pokemon, is a gene that may act as a master switch for cancer, and is responsible for the proliferation of cancer throughout surrounding cells. Upon hearing that the leader of the research team considered the name Pokemon, Nintendo put a stop to it before it went any further, in fear of being associated with such a life-destroying disease. Pokemon Go murder. Calvin Riley was only 20 years old when he was shot in the torso while playing the popular Pokemon Go game with his friends in San Francisco, near the aquatic park area. Friends say Riley and a friend noticed someone suspicious watching them that night, but were more focused on their phones. U.S. Park Police released sketches of a possible gunman based on surveillance video a few weeks later, but no solid leads materialized. No motive or suspect was ever identified either, as they took none of Calvin's belongings. And a $100,000 reward was offered by the father of the victim for any lead of the murderer, but nothing turned up. Pikachu could have been a tiger. Here's the full quote from the president of the Pokemon Company. At the time, it was widely believed that American kids would never want to play games with a lot of text. Psych. So we thought Pokemon only had about 10% chance of success outside of Japan. The first time we showed off some Pokemon in the United States, we were told they were too cute. The staff in America submitted their ideas for replacement designs, but we just couldn't believe the kind of stuff they were proposing. They turned Pikachu into something like a tiger with huge breasts. It looked like a character from the musical Cats. When I asked, how is this supposed to be Pikachu? They said, well, look, there's its tail right there. Seriously, that was the kind of stuff that was being proposed, so I guess we got lucky somehow, but who knows, would Pokemon still have been successful if Pikachu would have had boobs? Glitch City. Glitch cities are merely heavily corrupted versions of normal maps in the first Pokemon games. As such, they retain several of the properties possessed by their quote-unquote source maps, giving off an eerie vibe, I guess. Lemoy City Ghost. The Lemoy City Ghost legend is an urban legend revolving around the 2013 role-playing games Pokemon X and Y. Entering the second floor of a certain building in Lemoy City will cause the music to stop and the lights to flash, followed by a ghostly girl materializing behind the player and gliding towards the bottom of the screen in a frozen walking animation. She will then mutter, "No, you're not the one," before floating off screen and disappearing completely. Theories began to spread about her role. One hypothesis said that she would only talk to a player with a certain trainer ID, and another said that she would use the key to unlock some ultra rare ghost type legendary. Currently, none of the prevailing theories have any real evidence to support them. It appears that the ghost girl is merely just an Easter egg. What's inside a Pokeball? In the games, Pokemon visibly shrink into the balls. Either way, they are somehow sucked inside of the ball. All of this indicates that the ball is able to convert creatures to fit inside itself. In the Pokemon anime, there's nothing inside the ball but its mechanical insides, as shown here, and creatures are rarely shown inside Pokeballs anyways. Buried Alive. Often referred to as its code, the Berryman script, the Buried Alive model was found to be on the final story of the Pokemon Tower, and what has now been replaced with the Marowak Ghost. According to the scripts assigned to it, the Buried Alive model was intended to be the final boss of the tower. Once reaching the top floor, the following conversation would have taken place with the model. "You're here, I'm trapped, and I'm lonely, so very lonely. Won't you join me?" After this, the battle would have been initiated. Once in battle view, the Buried Alive model appeared to be a decaying human corpse, attempting to crawl out of the ground. It had been programmed to have 2 white hands, a Gengar, and a Muk. Strangely enough, a protocol for the Buried Alive's actions after it was defeated were not written. In case of the player defeating him, the game would freeze. However, a specific ending was written by an unknown programmer upon losing the battle. In this ending, the Buried Alive was to have stated, "Finally, fresh meat," followed by several lines of gibberish and "I'm lonely." He was to have then dragged the player's character into the ground surrounding him. The scene would finish with a typical game over screen. However, in the background, an image of the Buried Alive character devouring the player was to have been shown. CUBONE is a Charmander. This theory states that a CUBONE is what happens when a Charmander's parents dies. He states when a Charmander is born, they require a Charizard to light their tail up on fire, but when a Charizard dies, their tail can't be lit. There's also another theory stating that a CUBONE is simply sick due to the lack of a mother taking care of it. The Uri Geller Kadabra case. Uri Geller is an Israeli-British illusionist, magician, television personality, and self-proclaimed psychic. He is known for his trademark television performances of spoon-bending and other illusions. In the year 2000, Uri Geller sued Nintendo for copying his likeness into a Pokemon character that had evil occult imagery. For a time being, this was the main reason why Kadabra didn't show up on the playing cards, though in December 2020, he let everything go and wanted the card to be reprinted again, tweeting out his apology for what he had done. Gambling lawsuit. A parents group attempted to sue the manufacturers of the collectible cards, including Nintendo and Wizard of the Coast, claiming that the cards' collectible nature and the random distribution of the cards in packs was a form of illegal gambling. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Yoshi theory. The Dragonite evolves into Yoshi legend has existed for a while now. The April 1999 of Expert Gamer magazine displayed an article allegedly detailing a method to get the Pokemon Dragonite to evolve into Yoshi, the famous dinosaur character from the Mario series. According to the method, obtaining this ridiculous sounding feat would require 2 people. one with Pokemon Red and one with Pokemon Blue. Both players would have to complete the entire game and collect all 150 Pokemon. Mew was excluded in the case of this myth. This was all concluded to be an elaborate April Fool's joke by the magazine though. I can imagine all the pissed off people who tried this, like damn. It's a Zionist plot. Some outspoken fundamentalist Muslims claim that Pokemon is a Jewish conspiracy intended to get Muslim children to renounce their faith. These same groups claim that the word Pokemon means I am Jewish, with the claimers and their followers generally unaware of the franchise's Japanese origin. In 2001, the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, who is the highest religious authority in the kingdom, issued a fatwa banning the Pokemon franchise. It claimed that the franchise promoted Zionism by displaying a six-pointed star that resembles the Star of David, as well as other religious symbolism, such as the cross they associated with Christianity and triangles they associated with Freemasonry. High Muslim authorities in Qatar and in Egypt then joined the ban. Later, a Jordanian newspaper printed a caricature of Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon sitting on a tank and laughing at an Arab man chasing a Pokemon. This was meant to convey that Arabs are distracted from their conflict with the Israelis by popular franchises, with Pokemon as an example of such distractions. That was the Pokemon Iceberg, guys. If you enjoyed it and like to stick around on my channel, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be posting more theory videos surrounding animated franchises and other things outside of that. Either way, thanks for watching and I'll catch you later. Peace.